really excited to be doing this finally. And I gotta say, I've been having a pretty amazing time with Mario Kart these past couple days. Really been jumping into time trials a ton, and that's where we're gonna start. We're gonna start talking about the time trials that we're doing now. Time trials isn't just your standard time trials. We're not using the meta. We're using pipe frames. Okay, so if you want to get involved in this, you can head over to the Discord, n64josh.com/Discord. There's a link in the description, no matter where you're watching this or listening to this, and you can jump in and you can post your times. Now, I have 4 times posted because we're gonna do circuits. Okay, so essentially, like the game has different cups, if you will. Our first cup, our first circuit is going to be, well, 4 Mario circuits, and I know I'm gonna hear about it. I know I'm gonna hear about it, and I'm okay with it. I'm I'm perfectly okay with it. We got Mario Circuit 3, which you're seeing on the screen right now, and you're gonna see all 4 of my runs. Mario Circuit, just the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Mario Circuit, Mario Circuit for the Game Boy Advance, and then Mario Circuit on the DS. Now, I didn't just pick these because I'm like a huge fan of Mario. I am I'm learning, right? And part of the reason I'm doing this show is to kind of document that process of getting better at time trials, learning the competitive game and playing the game competitively. And I get questions all the time. How do I get better? How do I get better? Well, time trials is definitely one of the ways to improve at Mario Kart. I can tell you this. You're seeing me play Mario Circuit. If you've watched any of the YouTube videos recently, I've been doing Mario Circuit 3 quite a bit. It's been my first track that I've really kind of like sunk my teeth into. And there's one non-item shortcut, the NISC, and I've been trying to get the technique down for that. Been really working on the way I take the mushroom shortcut in this one. It's an easy track to practice on. There's nothing that takes place in the air. It's all just on the ground. Because there's crazy techniques. I don't know if you guys know this, but when it comes to time trials, you watch some of these ghosts and it's like they're insane, right? Well, a lot of times going off of jumps, what they're doing is they're pausing the game, it stops the timer, and then they are switching to motion controls because it allows them to get a little bit to push the cart a little bit further, and then they're unpausing the game, turning or pausing the game, turning motion controls back off, and then finishing their lap, and then rinsing and repeating every time. So there's some crazy techniques when you're going for like the world record runs. Will we get to that point? Who knows? There's a very real possibility. But I'm doing all of this as of right now in the pipe frame. And that doesn't mean you can't participate in some, like I've got 2 spots for I've got time trials and I've got pipe trials set up in the Discord. So you can post your regular time trials as well. It's not like you're going to be excluded from that. I just want to have I just want to kind of change it up a little bit. And for me, Mario Kart is the pipe frame, right? And who knows, we might modify the rules down the road and add the standard cart with the pipe frame. That might be something we do if I get enough feedback that people want to do that. I think they're relatively similar stats anyway. The big thing is the standard wheels, because we're just I'm anti small wheels, as most of you probably know. So I am doing this episode live, twitch.tv/n64josh, also over on YouTube, and I believe on Kick as well. And I know a handful of you are hanging out. I can see you guys lurking. Thank you so much for being here with me live. And so I jumped in, did 4 races tonight, or 4 different tracks. I had a really good time, and I'm gonna kind of go through my process, and I want to give a shout out to Firestone, who you guys heard in the first episode. He has kind of encouraged me to, like, yo, if you're gonna do, like, let's say you do a time trial and then you come back to it later. Try to beat your old ghost without using any mushrooms. So what I did when I jumped into Mario Circuit DS for the first time, I tried to beat the Nintendo Ghost without using mushrooms, and I got to within 2 seconds, and then I went ahead and did the remainder. I went ahead and beat him with the mushrooms, but I still want to continue that process of like, am I taking the best line? And you guys will see as you start getting into this, you want to shave milliseconds off every chance you get. And I'm a little nervous about my controller because of how hard I've been gripping it while I'm playing. Because I'm honestly I'm really getting into this and having a great time with it. So when I did, so that was Mario Kart Circuit DS. I raced the Ghost, the Nintendo Ghost. I ended up only beating him by 2 seconds. I know I can shave time. I really wanted to get. I got. I'll tell you guys my times for Mario Circuit GBA. I'm 133.631, and I have these in the Discord in Pipe Trials. If and again, you guys can post your times as well. Mario Circuit from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I have a 153.823. That one was a lot of fun. We'll get to that in a second. Mario Circuit DS, I'm at a 153.42. I was really trying to get 149. I really wanted to see 149, and I wasn't able to pull it off. And then Mario Circuit, which you're seeing currently on the screen, is a 137.391. So Mario Circuit on Mario Kart 8, that one I had a Ghost that I was like, oh, he's pretty fast. I would, I thought, and I I kind of smoked that Ghost. It was like I think I did my first run. I want to say I did it. I may have done it shroomless or I don't know. I can't remember, but I mean, I was knocking 2 seconds off every lap. That's how far ahead I was getting um in front of my Ghost. And so I think my and then I raced my Ghost after I beat the Ghost prior, and then got it down. I think I was at 155. I got it down to 153. So I was having a lot of fun on that track. I feel like it's a pretty good track to practice on. I want to watch some of the like some of the world records and see, how I can improve on those times, because I haven't looked at any of the newer tracks. I haven't let that I just added to this circuit. I haven't looked to see what what are the world record holders doing. And obviously you can't mimic them identically because they're going to be getting extra turbos in places that I'm not going to be able to get with the pipe cart. But it's going to be it's still relatively close. So you can still get some ideas on the line that they're taking to get your coins and all that stuff. So um Mario Circuit from Mario Kart 8. I had a really good time with that. And if you're brand new, that may be the track to start on, and just to really get a feel for time trials. Honestly, any of these four are pretty easy. Probably the most difficult one is the GBA, is my gut feeling. At least like I was and again, it boiled down to the Ghost I had on there. I was having a hard time beating him. I think I finally did set the record on that one too, but I can't remember at this point. But regardless, it's pretty intense when you can see the Ghost, just right behind you, or like just coming up on you. And I don't know. I don't know why. Like I've enjoyed this ever since the first game, all the way back in '92. And I was wearing my Mario Kart jersey today while I was doing Mario Kart Mondays, which I do want to mention that as well. We race as a community. Everybody is welcome. We have a tournament set up, shooting for Mondays at 4 p.m. And that's just pending I'm home. Sometimes I travel, but as long as I'm home, I'll be doing the dirt will be live. I think that's going to be on Mondays, probably at like 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, and then we'll do Mario Kart either we'll do Mario Kart Mondays either before or after that. So it'll kind of just depend. I want to get a schedule nailed down, but around 4 p.m. is what we'll start. We might start with the show, and then after the show, jump into the racing together. So that might be the way we do it. So 4 p.m. on Mondays, we'll record the dirt, and then afterwards we will race. I think the only reason it's kind of up in the air is because I know there's a lot of people in the community that are in like the UK, and that's super late for them. So we might even do it a little bit earlier. It might even be more like start the dirt at 3 and then record and then race at 4 to 5. So that may be the way we do it. But we'll just play it by ear at the beginning as we're getting this thing rolling. I just want to kind of get things scheduled so people know when to come hang out. And we're live on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/N64Josh, youtube.com at N64Josh or slash at N64Josh. And then a lot of times we're live on TikTok as well. So you can come hang out and be a part of that. The other thing that we're doing is on Wednesdays, and I think I'm going to shoot for again, I think around 5, but I might do it earlier just for the people across the pond. Maybe we'll shoot for 4 o'clock on Wednesdays. It's just jumping in the Discord and either doing time trials, or if we have enough people, if we have 12 people, we could do some competitive gaming. And if we have extras, maybe some people run some time trials while we do some competitive games, and then swap people out, or do some smaller teams and use computer players or something along those lines. But the competitive Mario Kart is so much fun, and especially if we were all jumping in, getting in the voice chat, being able to kind of talk some trash to each other. I have a feeling it might be incredibly fun. So if you've got Mario Kart, you've got some kind of a mic, and you can get in Discord Wednesdays. And I'm just gonna say right now, Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, be in the Discord, and we'll all jump into voice. I may record it. The reason I'm not doing it live is just because if we get some kind of troll that comes in, I don't want to have something said on stream that is that could get me banned or canceled or anything like that. So, but I also want to have a chance to chat with you guys, get to know you better, and all of us just kind of get to know each other better, and race some Mario Kart while we do it. So that's kind of the plan there. Now, this first episode, or second episode, I mean, the first episode was with Firestone. The second episode here, I really want to focus on the community, and I put the question out in multiple places, and got quite a bit of a response in the Discord for what are some of your favorite memories with Mario Kart. And I know I did kind of a test episode on the Nintendo Powercast channel, and I know I talked about this a little bit on there, but I'm going to mention it here as well. That back in '92, when Super Mario Kart came out, I was in the 8th grade, and I used to hang out at my uncle's house a lot, and we would race a lot of Mario Kart. And the we would be up super late, either racing Mario Kart, drinking tons of Pepsi, and either racing Mario Kart or watching Beavis and Butthead. Those were those. That's how I spent a lot of my summer, because I would stay at his place because I would watch his kids while he was at work. So, and he typically just worked right at his house and his shop there. So he could kind of start work when he wanted and whatnot, and we would hang out probably way later than we should have been. But it was a ton of fun, and we would spend most of our time, believe it or not, doing time trials, because it got to the point that, like, I don't think he could beat me. And so it was like, how are we gonna, like, when we would race, versus or whatever, and it was like, well, how are we gonna keep doing this so that it's fun, right? How can we make this enjoyable? And so we started just doing time trials, and we would both race as Koopa Troopa. And I know you guys are probably surprised by that it's not. I wasn't racing with Mario. And we would do the Ghost, I think it was Ghost House 1, or I don't remember the exact name of the track, but I think it was the first one. And we would just run it over and over and over again. And I can still hear the squeaks of the tires from that track. It's just that was one of the things that always sounded like a basketball game, the way the tires would squeak on the wood. And we spent countless days just doing that, just running time trials over and over and over again. And time trials have always been a big part of Mario Kart for me. It was like once the Grand Prix was done, especially before there was online, I looked at it as a way like I have unlimited playtime with with the Mario Kart games because of the time trials. I could just always race my ghost and continue to improve and get better, and I loved it. Like that was just super fun to me, trying to learn how to take the best line, and how can I shave seconds off here, and just racing the ghosts. It was something that I really really enjoyed. And so I'm not sure why I went away from it or didn't do it as much. And I would pick it up periodically, and I would even do it on like Mario Kart 7 and stuff. But I think because there was just more to do, having online races and being able to race with community and whatnot, that's where I would put the majority of my time. But now, and it's I mean it's this game is 10 years old almost, right? Like we're playing a 10-year-old game, and I'm having more fun than ever, and it's only making my backlog that much worse. But I'm here for it because I needed that moment in my life where gaming became fresh again and became fun. And that's what this has done for me. And I think as we all jump in together on Wednesday, and we start growing this community, and more people get involved, and I think everybody's going to find that like this it's more than just being about the game. It's going to be about the people we meet, and how we all kind of grow together. And I'm really really looking forward to that. So I want to jump into a handful of the messages from you guys, because I put it in the Discord. I said I want you guys to give me some of your favorite memories, right? And so I can't read all the let me see if I can disable streamer mode. Here we go. So with streamer mode disabled, I'm able to see everybody's names now. So first up, we have Dr. Video GM, and it says the OG Mario Kart was my first. Beating 100% Double Dash is my favorite memory. So there you go. That's pretty cool. That I mean, I don't even know if I beat Double Dash 100% when I think the GameCube memory card that I have that has my save on it, I think it got corrupt, and so I wasn't able to see. So I've since had to start Double Dash over, and I'll pick it up periodically because I don't feel like I ever really gave it a fair shake, and that was due to IGN giving it a 7.9 when it reviewed it, and when they reviewed it. And I know I think that's crazy for a lot of people. I think a lot of people um, really love Double Dash. I know for a handful of people, it's their favorite game, and so, or their favorite Mario Kart game. And so I've had to go back. I don't love the double carts. That's what really turned me off from it. But the tracks are really amazing. So seeing a lot of them in 8 has been great, but I kind of wish we had seen more, to be perfectly honest. We were actually talking about it on stream today. Antoine was mentioning that he would have loved to see more Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart Double Dash tracks instead of the tour tracks, and I tend to agree. Like the tour tracks are not my favorite. So moving on here, Easy Peasy says my first Mario Kart was Mario Kart 64. My hands were too small for the controller, so I would pause the game before each turn in the road and ready my hands, then unpause. And I did this for each turn with the laughing emoji. That is hilarious, having to pause the game because your hands were so small. I mean, I'm holding a 64 controller right now, and like I get it. This thing was massive, and trying to play the 64 as a little kid. I get it. I get it. Having to pause on each turn, pretty funny. Pretty funny. And I'll say, like, I loved Mario 64. Like kind of going through my list with the game. So 92, I never owned Super Mario Kart. My uncle did. I would borrow it from him often. I had friends that had it, and then I would race with him, like I said, very, very often. The GBA Super Circuit played it. I had a couple of flights I had to do to Russia, and we played it on the plane, which was really cool because we all had I had like one of the cables or whatever for hooking up like all four of uh our Game Boy Advance SPs, and so we were playing Super Circuit that way. I didn't really love the way that game controlled all that much, so I didn't spend a ton of time with it. And a quick side note about Super Circuit: I was retro game hunting one day, and I went into my Goodwill, and they had a Super Circuit just sitting there on the shelf, and I ended up picking it up for like kind of, I think it was like a steal. I think it was like $4.99 or something, and so it was just really cool being able to get that game back in my collection. The thing I want to collect now when it comes to that game is I want to get the box for it. So I want to get the box for Super Mario Kart and Super Circuit. And then other than that, I think I'm pretty good to go. And I'll go into my collection of games of Mario Kart games in the next episode maybe, because there's some kind of cool pieces in my collection. So we'll talk about that in the next one. And then when it came to Mario Kart 64, I purchased my 64. It was like the first console that I kind of paid for myself, and I was, what was it, 96 or whatever, so I was like probably around 16. And so I remember picking up, I bought Mario Kart and GoldenEye. I didn't get Mario 64. I still have people that give me crap for that, because I just didn't get 60 Mario Kart, or I didn't get Mario 64. But I played so much Mario Kart 64. Like, I loved it. I remember the first time that I beat, all the Grand Prix and everything, and then the screen changed, the home screen. And I was like, well, I didn't, I don't think I knew that was going to happen. And then all of a sudden it was like, it went from the original to like, seeing Donkey Kong and kind of having that orange background. And, I just remember that being super cool. But countless hours, 4-player battle mode, just Grand Prix, like that game. Yeah, it was something else. And it's just full of so many fond memories. Then then what? Then there was Double Dash. And again, the IGN review kind of turned me off from that a little bit. So I didn't put as much time into that game as I wish I had. It still was fun, and it still got some playtime, but just not as much. And I was, for some reason at that time, I was so hungry for a first person shooter on the GameCube. I think coming off of the 64 and playing so much Perfect Dark, that when there was not a first person shooter on the GameCube, I was like, nothing was really scratching that itch until like Time Splitters came out. And I don't know why. I know I played a lot of Smash and I played a lot of Star Wars, but I don't recall playing, and a lot of Wind Waker, but I don't recall playing as much Mario Kart Double Dash. And like I said, I do regret that. Then DS, Mario Kart DS, one of my favorite Mario Karts of all time, honestly. That to me was the first time we could go online. I remember playing that game on my DSi, and it it just felt like classic Mario Kart was back, right? Because I didn't feel like Double Dash was like the classic Mario Kart, and Mario Kart DS really felt like Mario Kart was back. And I remember like beating all the Grand Prix, getting the 3 stars. Your 3 stars would show up. It was the first time we could play online. And then I remember snaking became a thing, and everybody was snaking. And I learned to do it, but I hated it. Like, to me, it was not that enjoyable. I didn't like that was how everybody was running their time trials, was by doing snaking, because I wanted a traditional, relatively level playing field, right? And I mean, snaking's in the game, so it's on me to learn it. Don't get me wrong, but it was like, this isn't what I don't. This isn't how I want to play these tracks. You know what I mean? And I don't know that it's necessarily the way that the devs uh, really designed, had in mind for us to play it that way. But either way, and then the snaking moved into online, and the people that used it were so much faster. So I had a great time. I remember my kids were little at that time, and they deleted my save. I didn't even care. I was like, this means I get to go back through this game again and unlock everything, get my 3 stars. Didn't bother me at all. Like I loved that game so much, and just being able to any free time I had, whether it was like a road trip or whatever the case may be, being on vacation, I was usually playing. It was either Animal Crossing or Mario Kart, and oh, I'm sorry, on DS Mario Kart won it out. On 3DS, Animal Crossing beat out 7, but 7 was also great. But let's talk the Wii a little bit too. So the Wii, I know this is going to be a bit of a hot topic, but I don't love the Wii as much as most people, and I think the majority of my conversations, they come from people that grew up with Mario Kart Wii as their first game, and there's definitely a nostalgia pull for that, and I totally get it. Like there's not anything wrong with that whatsoever. Because I'm a traditionalist when it comes to Mario Kart, the motion controls were not it for me. That's really what turned me off. And I didn't love the pro controllers on the Wii. And I found out like somewhat recently that I could have been using my GameCube controller on Mario Kart Wii. And I need to go back and try it and see if I like it better that way, because I have a feeling it will appeal to me a little bit more. And it was good, but it was a game that I didn't play that much. Now, granted, I was really into the Xbox 360 at that time. I was really into getting achievements, and I just didn't put the time in. Oh, real quick, referencing back, my original time trial was 159 on Mario Circuit on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I ended up knocking 6 seconds off and getting down to 153. So that felt like a pretty big win. But yeah, when it came to Wii, I did not like the motion controls, and I remember not even unlocking all the characters. Which, I mean, looking back on it, just shocks me. But I can remember times where I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get it done, and I would do it for like one sitting, and then I would come back like months later and play it again. And I think because of that, I never really got into a good cadence or a good groove with the game, and it just never really pulled me in. Now my son, he got into like the glitches in that game, which I think a lot of people kind of enjoyed, being able to do the insane shortcuts that speedrunners still do when they're playing that game, and being able to like jump over a mountain and then get behind the finish line and do really fast laps and stuff like that. At one point, he held one of the records for the fastest times because of doing some of the glitches. So that was cool for him. He loved that. Then you get to Mario Kart 7, and that to me again was like, that was peak Mario Kart. I was like, it is back. Like the graphics are fantastic on this little handheld device. Like I really, really, I loved that game, and I put a lot of time in that game. Well, the only game I put more time in, like I said, was Animal Crossing on my 3DS. But it's and again, I think that's another one that may have gotten erased at one point, and it didn't. I just was like, jump back in and do it again. Like it's up there, high on my tier list for Mario Karts. I enjoyed the track design, the different the options for the carts. I I loved the fact that there was, online again. Didn't really use the 3D all that much. And I think one of the things that we want to do before we talked about this on the Nintendo Powercast is, before the DS is completely shut down, I want to get some Mario Kart 7 races in with everybody. So maybe that'll be something we do on one of these Wednesdays coming up, where we instead of playing Mario Kart 8, we'll have people fire up their DSs and or their 3DSs, and we will play some Mario Kart 7 together, because I just that's gonna go away. I mean, we'll be able to do it if we all get together in person sometime at like a meetup or a convention or whatever. But the online goes away in April, so we won't have that option anymore. So it'd be fun to get a few races in at least with Mario Kart 7 because it is one of my favorites. And then you get into 8. I couldn't put it down on the Wii U. Like it was a fantastic title. I remember I had a little mix up at Best Buy when I ordered mine. I they I think the guy gave me the digital version instead of the disc, and I was like, "No, no, 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 no. I need the disc." And he was like, "Oh, my bad." Gave me the code and then gave me a disc also, which was cool. I wasn't expecting that, but uh it was great not having to put the disc in every time I wanted to play Mario Kart 8. And I played a ton of it. Was disappointed with the battle mode, as I think most people were, because battle was and is a lot of fun. But then when Deluxe came out, I've bought more copies of this game than I'm even supposed to say. Like I get harassed on NPC all the time because of how many copies I've I've purchased of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I bought somebody this game this Christmas who, my daughter's boyfriend, he played hers and went and grabbed his Switch, and she didn't get her game back for quite some time, and she was like, "Yo, we got to get him a copy of this." So I picked him up a copy as well. And yes, I'm part of the problem of why this game has sold so well. But it's one of those things that, like, there's times that I'll call up my nephews and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm on Mario Kart, jump on." I'll call a bunch of different nieces and nephews, you know, maybe some of my cousins or siblings or whatever, and just be like, "Hey, we're all racing," and we'll all get in a call, and everybody will get some races in, and everybody has a good time with it. And it's just we sometimes just play it like the party game that it is. And I'm going to do an episode, probably maybe episode 4. We'll talk about all the different ways to play this game. We kind of got into I just got somebody in the chat, just Nightcrawler just threw me off. But Firestone and I kind of got into a little bit, just all the different ways. But I'm gonna put together a list of all the different ways you can play Mario Kart 8. Nightcrawler in the chat says, part of you are the sole reason, and you are the sole reason we have the problem on no Mario Kart 10. Yeah, there's no question there. That is all on me. I am definitely the problem there. So I want to turn back to, and again, 8 uh Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, honestly, life-changing game for me. When I started making content around it on TikTok, I started seeing videos get millions of views. And what's interesting is, instead of like getting excited about it, I kind of got frustrated with it because I was pigeonholed into just Mario Kart. And I was like, what am I going to do here? Eventually I'm going to run out of ideas. And then I would try to do other stuff, and my TikTok slowed way down. Now I have an unlimited like unlimited ideas for the content that I'm going to create for this game, and just doing time trials and racing with the community and everything. Like it I have so many different ideas on tip videos and how to get better at the game. And it's just, I'm excited that I don't know if I just kind of got aligned with the universe that was like, come on, like you started strong with Mario Kart, finish strong with it. So that's what we're doing. Joe says, "Hey, my Discord friend bought a Switch to play Mario Kart with you, so you really are the problem." Yeah, no doubt about it. I've seen that plenty of times. I've racing, doing TikTok lives or on Twitch or whatever, and there's people that'll be like, "Oh, I really want to play with you." I'm like, "Well, jump on in." They're like, "I don't have the game," and then they'll come back like a couple weeks later, and they're like, "Here we go. I'm gonna start racing with you." It's like, oh man, if I if I had $1 for every person I influenced to buy buy this game, I'd probably be set. But it's it it just, for some reason, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe doesn't get old for me. It's my most played game on the Switch, and I like it's been interesting thinking about the different seasons with this game, and like at times thinking people are cheating because you don't understand that the net code is so messed up, or trying to figure out like how people are getting different you hit somebody online yet they don't slow down and you're like they've got to be cheating. Like there's all these different nuances and things you learn about this game the longer you play it. And even to the point that was like, I used to preach constantly that I wish they would balance this game better, and it's like this game is actually incredibly well balanced, and there's kind of a lot of formulas to it. Like Firestone was talking about it in chat today. Like you can basically predict what items you're going to get. Like you won't be like 100% accurate, but a lot of the times I think he said he can be upwards of like 90 to 95% accurate on which items he thinks are going to be coming next. And that's crazy. That's crazy, but it's just the amount of time people spend playing this game. They just get so good at it. Okay, well, I want to make my way back over to the Discord, and we got a few more messages to read from people's like first memories or first Mario Kart or favorite memories. So Silver Sword says playing Double Dash with my siblings. Absolutely says first Mario Kart was Mario Kart 64. Becca says first Mario Kart was Mario Kart 64. Guys, if you're in chat and you've got a favorite memory with Mario Kart, like go ahead and type that out. I will read it on the show here. Nady Nay says Mario Kart 64 battle mode, some real good times with friends on that. Lots of frustrating moments. Yeah, and because we've got Nintendo Switch Online, I think we should maybe on some of these Wednesdays, maybe we do retro Mario Kart nights where we break up into groups. We can all still stay in the same chat, but we can all play some of these older games. We can do, Super Circuit, even Super Mario Kart, do Mario 64, and just, like take a trip down memory lane with some of these older Mario Karts, and see how frustrating they can be at times. Joe, who's in chat right now, says Mario Kart DS was my first true experience and went as far as 100%ing it, but the Wii is my favorite, and I have so many fond memories. Unlocking Dry Bowser was my biggest accomplishment. Oh, I love that. So, Joe, let me know in chat, like, was Dry Bowser after Funky Kong? Because I never even unlocked Funky Kong. There was a lot of people left in Mario Kart Wii that I never even unlocked. I don't even know that I did like all of the. I don't think I did all the Grand Prix. Like when I go and look, I'm just kind of surprised at how little I played that game. There was a lot of multiplayer played, especially because of uh, uh, being 4 player and having online. Like there was more time put in that way than just running it solo. I think I struggled with the looks of it and just not being it was right in the beginning of the HD era of gaming, and I think that was another issue. And Joe said, "Yep, he was after Funky, and I believe getting first place on 150 or Mirror. I don't remember." So, oh, there you go. Okay, yeah. So I had no shot. That's for sure. I wasn't gonna see him. Let's see. Armando says, yes, we mostly played the battle mode too. Got into so many scraps with my cousins. We was almost as bad as Mario Party. I would pick Block Tower map and screen look hard. Oh man, that is some classic 64 some classic Mario Kart 64 right there with screen looking. I mean, every who wasn't screen looking at that point. Wind Waker 2024, aka Destina, says first Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart for the SNES. There is something pure about racing in that game. Less emphasis is put on the items, more on taking corners tight and perfecting your race lines around the track. Starting my power slide way before the start of a corner to come up within millimeters of the wall makes me feel the way God must feel when he is power sliding around a track. So there you go. And I mean, I totally get that sentiment, right? Like when you are running a really good line, you're staying as tight as you can to that wall, and you're not colliding with anything, but just really pulling off those perfect runs. That that's peak. I love that stuff. So love seeing Love seeing memories like that. Travels with Batty says I got into Mario Kart late in the game. I didn't play until I had a DS and played Mario Kart 7. So wow, Mario Kart 7 on 3DS was Travels with Batty's first game. And then fell in love with 8. And yeah, she's been in some streams, been racing with us for a long time. And let's see. It looks like Rambro Al from the Discord says, just listened today at work. Very excited for some Mario Kart. To answer the question, my first Mario Kart was on the N64. I have very fond memories of jamming with my brother and old man on Wario Stadium. That was by far our favorite. Saving the lightning bolt for others when they hit the jump. Haha. Yes, that was something we did all the time. Speaking of screen looking, like you would get the lightning bolt on Wario Stadium and just wait for somebody to hit that jump and then just drop them down. And it was like, it was it was so cruel. Like you loved it when you pulled it off and you hated it when it happened to you, because it was like, you're not coming back from this. It was brutal. It was brutal. And that's the track that's never come back. We've never seen that. We've never seen that one make its way back into the rotation. So who knows? Maybe in Mario Kart 10, I think that's what they're calling it. That's what the leaks are anyway. And we'll get into the leaks in a later episode, or rumors, I should say, and discuss, speculate and all that kind of stuff. But for now, I'll get back to the memories here. So let's see. Saving the lightning bolt for others to hit the jump. There was a strict no wall jump rule enforced in the house for that track as well. I don't know if you guys remember jumping the wall in Wario Stadium. I think I hit a perfect run where I was able to jump the wall all 3 times and set an insane time trial record on that track. Let's see. I remember a friend coming over and doing the wall jump in a 4-player game, and my dad and I just looked at each other, and we both knew that whoever was the lucky one to pick up the lightning bolt and save it for him. I love it. Oh, that is great. That is some good stuff right there. So yeah, that's gonna do it for episode 2. I just wanted to kind of look back at some of the memories, talk about what we're gonna do moving forward, and we are gonna get into some tips and tricks. Some of this is gonna tie in with the YouTube video, so I'm gonna be going in depth on the races that you guys were seeing, or the time trials that you were seeing on this podcast, if you were watching on Spotify or following along on YouTube. But I'm going to kind of go in and break down some of what I was doing during these time trials, what I think I could do better, because that's just one way to really improve at the game. And I'll kind of leave you guys with this little tip. Like, a lot of people ask all the time, how can I get better at Mario Kart? Watch your replays. Are you taking the best line? Are you making sure to get your 10 coins? Some of the fundamentals of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are, make sure you're taking the best line, and that line needs to include getting 10 coins, because 10 coins equals top speed. And so go back and just watch and see, could I improve here? It's easy to do with time trials. You can watch your online gameplay as well and see if there are areas that you can improve, but you got other players to deal with at that point. So it's less about the fundamentals at times, and more about like the item management and how you're dealing with those other players. But starting in time trials to just really start to learn the track. But again, you go and race. I'm looking at Mario Kart Circuit 3 right now. You go race that online, and yeah, I tend to do a little bit better on this track than some of the others. But I'm also taking a different line at times, because I'm trying to get double item boxes, or maybe I'm trying to make sure I have all my coins. So it's not like you just jump into time trials, do that same race over and over again when you're online. It's going to get mixed up a little bit, and you're essentially going to have to memorize the track in two different ways. So keep that in mind. Keep on racing, you guys. We'll see you Wednesday for the Mario Kart community night, and of course next Monday for Mario Kart Mondays, and we are going to start early, like maybe I think 3 is what I said. We're going to start at 3, and we'll do an episode of the dirt, and then we'll jump in and we'll all race together. So I will see you guys on Wednesday, and I hope you have an incredible week. We'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.